Good morning, students. Welcome back to Mahadeva International School. We shall start the class, that is a physics class. In the previous class, we were studying about the kinetic theory of matter. So, we shall continue the same topic, that is a subtopic from kinetic theory of matter. So, in the last class, we studied about what is matter, what are the states of matter, that is solid, liquid, and gas, and we studied what is the force between the matter, force of attraction. So in today's class, we shall study about the kinetic theory of matter. Now, the kinetic theory explains the property of matter in terms of molecules. Main points of kinetic theory are as follows. That is, kinetic theory explains how the molecules are arranged in a matter. Now, first point is all matter is made up of tiny particles called molecules. So, let me assume this as completely a matter. So, this complete matter is made up of individual particles. So, these are individual particles. So, these particles are called as molecules. Okay, so that is what the first point indicates here. All matter is made up of tiny particles called molecules. Now, molecules of a given substance are identical in all respects, while molecules of different types of substances differ from one another in shape, size, and composition. So, molecules of a given substance, like for example, if I am taking a substance like chalk, so in the chalk, all the molecules which are arranged are of same shape and same size. Okay, if I am taking two or more matters, that is, if I am taking one as the chalk piece, one I am taking it as the pencil or some other thing like paper. So if I just divide it or if I cut it, then the shape will be changed, the size will be changed, and the composition, that is the paper will have some other molecules, the chalk will have some other molecules, or the pencil will have some other molecules. That is, the molecules of a substance are identical in all respects, whereas if I'm taking different matter, then the shape, size, and composition of that will get changed. Next, molecules of liquid and gases are in continuous random zigzag motion called Brownian motion. When molecules collide with each other and with the walls of the container, if any molecule lose kinetic energy, the higher the temperature, the greater the speed of molecules, the more is the kinetic energy. So, in the position of solids, you can see here all the molecules are continuously arranged. That is, they don't have the gap between them. That is, they cannot move. That is in the case of solids. But when we are speaking in the case of liquid and gases, these molecules keep on moving in a zigzag manner. That is, some molecules can go and hit to this wall, some will go somewhere else. So in the case of liquid, but when in the case of gas, as you know that gases are stored inside a cylinder, so they keep on exerting a pressure on this cylinder. That is, they have high kinetic energy. That is, the moving molecules will have high kinetic energy. And when the molecules will lose the kinetic energy, the temperature of those molecules will get increased. Okay, so when they start hitting, like let me take this as an example of one molecule, it just goes and collide with this wall, it collide with this wall. In the same way, when it keeps on colliding, the speed of the molecules will increase and the kinetic energy is also increased. Molecules are held together by intermolecular forces. The magnitude of this force depends upon the type of molecules and the distance between the molecule. So molecules are held see, in the case of solid, so these molecules are tightly held. So this is only due to the intermolecular force between these two molecules. So they both will exert a force on each other, and they are very very strong in the case of solids. But when in the case of liquid and gas, the intermolecular force will not be there. Why? Because the space between them molecules is very very high. Now next is, let us go with the molecular arrangement in solids. So this is how the molecules are arranged in the solids. So due to small intermolecular space and strong intermolecular force of attraction, these molecules can only vibrate about their mean position. That is, even if you exert a pressure on them, so they can just vibrate. Okay, why? Because the intermolecular space between them is very very less. Okay, intermolecular space or intermolecular force is very less. That is why even if you try to remove these molecules outside, they just vibrate, they will not come out. So vibration of the molecules become more vigorous as the temperature rises. Means if I start heating this, so maybe they will get some energy and they start coming outside. So intermolecular space will break when we are going to heat these molecules. Now, in solids, the cohesive force is very strong as the intermolecular space is very less. If a force is applied to a solid, it is displaced from one place to another, but the relative position of its molecule do not change. So, if I keep heating them, so maybe for a high temperature, the molecules can change. Now, how the molecular arrangements is given in liquid. So in the last case, we studied about the solids. Now, in the form of liquid, the intermolecular space in the liquid is more than that in the solid. So you can see here, the space is very, very high compared to the molecules which were arranged in solids. So there is a lot of space here so that the each molecule can move from one place to another place. The molecules of a liquid have more freedom. See, they are having the freedom to move. Whereas in the case of solids, they did not have the freedom to move. They were tightly held. Okay. Due to Brownian motion, liquids do not have a fixed shape. They take the shape of the container. So the liquids, the molecules will not have any shape. Why? Because whichever the container you will pour the liquid, it will take the shape of that container. For example, let me tell it as, if I have a bowl which is round in shape, the water will take the shape of a bowl. If I have a bucket which is in the form of a square, then it will take the shape of a square. So the molecules of the liquid will take the shape of a container. Container means the object in which you are going to store the water or some liquids. The intermolecular force of attractions are strong enough to keep the molecules confined in a liquid. Hence liquids have a fixed volume. So this will have a fixed volume. Volume means it can be measured. On heating, the molecules absorb energy and move about faster and also vibrate more vigorously. Therefore, liquids expand more than solids. Like if I keep on heating a solid material, it will some materials are there which will not melt, whereas some materials will melt. Whereas now the force of these molecules are less compared to before heating. So if I start heating this molecules will gain more energy and they start moving with a high speed. That is, they will get a energy from the heat, and after getting the energy, so they start vibrating and moving very fast. So this will not happen in the case of solids. So these are the molecular arrangements in liquids. So we have studied molecular arrangements in solids and liquids. Whereas once again, let us recall about solids. So the molecules are tightly packed in solids, whereas in the liquids they are freely moving. They will have force of attraction. This in liquid case, it will not have any force of attraction. Instead, when I start heating these molecules, they gain the energy and they start moving with a high speed. So These are the two topics which have been discussed now. So we shall discuss the molecular arrangements in gas in the next class. So please go through the topics what we have discussed today and note down the important points. Okay, so we shall discuss the other topics in the next class. Until that, goodbye, have a good day.